Sharing will enrich everyone with more knowledge. Dignitaries, respected Toastmasters, fellow Gaveliers, parents, and guests, warm greetings to one and all. I am so happy to see you all and welcome all of you to part 1 of the Share and Grow series of District 116 Gavel Clubs Group. I am Rinith, a 9th grader from Zenith Gavel's Club, and it is my proud privilege to be the Surgeon at Arms for this wonderful initiative of District 116 Gaveliers. Let me read the mission of the Gavel's Club. The mission of Gavel's Club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Now, before we proceed further, let me remind you the ground rules to be followed during the meeting. Please ensure that your mic is always muted and video is off, that is except for the speaker. Please turn off all noise-making devices around you. Put them in silent mode during the meeting or mute them or mute your device. Speakers are requested to refrain from making any references to politics, sex, or religion throughout the session. While leaving, don't forget to turn off your camera and mute your mic. Meeting experience can be enhanced by switching on to speaker's view, and you can find this option on the right top of your Zoom screen. Role players and speakers, kindly rename yourselves with your role followed by your name. Timers, please rename as timer followed by your name. Any clarifications or questions can be sent as a text to the host. Please note that no video recording is permitted during the meeting. The meeting is being recorded and this will be made available to all later. Now it is time to introduce our MC for today's meeting. Gavelier Janvi Ranish is a bright and wonderful Gavelier of Zenith Gavel's Club. She is 11th grader and a voracious reader who loves reading classics. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome our lovely MC for further proceedings of today's meeting. Gavelier Janvi, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Gavelier Venus, for that kind introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, dignitaries and Gaveliers, good evening to everyone present here. I am beyond thrilled to be your MC this evening. Today will be the first session of the District 116 Share and Grow series, an initiative to exchange ideas, worth sharing, and inspire others. Before we start, I'd like to invite the woman behind it all, Toastmaster Aparna ma'am, to open the meeting. She is the District 116 Gavel Club Coordinator, Group A Chairman of Global Youth Gavel Club Groups, and of course, the Counselor of Zenith Gavel Club. Put your hands together for Toastmaster Aparna.
Thank you, Gavelier Janvi, for that sweet introduction. District 116 Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Mansoor Moidi, Division F Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Sabari Prasad, District IT Manager, Toastmaster Nijas, Global Youth Group Advisor, Distinguished Toastmaster Danu ma'am, past Division F Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Anil Nair, other Gavel Club counselors, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and my dear Gaveliers. A very good evening to one and all. A teacher who establishes rapport with the taught becomes one with them, learns more from them than he teaches them. These are the words of our great leader, Mahatma Gandhi, the father of my nation, India. It really holds good in my case. Ever since I started as a Gavel counselor with Zenith Gavels, I've been learning a lot from the young minds, and I'm still learning from all of you. I've always acknowledged that one of the best things that has happened in my Toastmaster journey is my association with Gavel clubs, and my Gaveliers are my world. I feel more than happy to be the District Gavel Coordinator, as it helps me connect with a wider range of Gaveliers now rather than one Gavel club. You don't make progress by standing on the sidelines, whimpering and complaining. You make progress by implementing ideas. With these great words of American politician, educator, and author Shirley Chisholm, I declare the first meeting of Share and Grow series open. We all know that COVID-19 pandemic has taken up so many lives and has caused massive disruption to families, societies, and economies all over the world. And we are all through it also. But if you take a look at the brighter side of it, we have had a lot of blessings too in disguise. We started meeting online. We started connecting beyond borders. We started becoming global. We started pondering on doing productive things online. We at Zenith, we started with a lot of good online initiatives like News This Week, wherein we uploaded news in our channel, news by the Gaveliers in our channel, every YouTube channel every Friday, wherein a Gavelier gets an opportunity to compile, present, shoot, and record news headlines around the globe. So this not only enabled them to read newspapers, but also help them to develop the presenting and editing skills also. Similarly, we had Vocab this week, which was uploaded every Saturday to enhance the vocabulary skills, vocabulary of our Gaveliers. And that also was presented in video format. And third initiative was Story Time with Zenith, wherein they developed story narration and presentation skills. And periodically, we had something called Rendezvous with Stars, where the Gaveliers get to interview senior Gaveliers who had made some remarkable achievements. So this developed the interviewing skills also. So share and grow. This was one such idea which I wanted to implement at my club during last March. But I couldn't do it due to personal issues as I was stuck at my hometown for more than 3 months. But this kept on lingering in my mind. And when I assumed the position of the District Gavels Club coordinator, and after the District Gavel contest happened, I met all my fellow councillors and presented this idea before them, and they all welcomed it wholeheartedly. And today we begin the part 1 with a great support from my District 116 team. I take this opportunity to thank my District 116 Gavel team for the great support. Sharing is caring, and we gain more power by sharing our knowledge and not by hoarding it. Through Share and Grow series, we give opportunity to Gaveliers to share their unique skills, knowledge, and experience with their peers and inspire them to follow suit. So we have scheduled Share and Grow series for every last Sunday of the month, and every 2 Gavel clubs in District 116 gets an opportunity for every month. And the calendar is all set for next 7 months. And today we begin our first episode featuring 2 dynamic speakers, one from Zenith Gavels and other from D Bankers Gavel Clubs respectively. I thank all those who have joined in here today to listen to our amazing speakers and seek all your good wishes and welcome you all to the part 1 of District 116 Gaveliers Share and Grow series. Thanking you all and looking forward to hear the great stories of our dynamic speakers of this month. Back to our lovely MC. Thank you.
Thank you, Aparna ma'am, for your words. Now, I'd also like to call Distinguished Toastmaster Mansoor Moideen to address the gathering and to share with us a few words. He has been a Toastmaster for over 19 years, served at club, Asia, division, and district in various roles, and is currently serving the members of the #1 district in the world as the district director. He is an entrepreneur, quiz master, co-author of Amazon best-selling book, Decoding Communication, and a trainer. He loves gardening and cooking. Let's hear it for Distinguished Toastmaster Mansoor Moideen.
Thank you so very much, our Master of Ceremony, Janvi, and I love the way you address the District Gavels Coordinator, ma'am. Our District 116 Gavels Club Coordinators, Toastmaster Aparna Ranish, Division F Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Sabari Prasad, Past Division Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Anil Nair, our District IT Manager, Toastmaster Nijas Noor, all the other Toastmasters, and my dear Gaveliers, a very, very good evening to all of you. I don't know, has that been advised that everyone should keep their videos off? I'd like to see the children. while I interact with them, if possible. Have your videos on. Okay, Haripriya, tell me this. Haripriya, tell me this now. How do you, begin your day, a working day when you have school? Can I unmute?
I begin my day.
You wake up.
Yeah, I wake up.
Your mom calls you 10 times and you wake up, then you brush your teeth, you go to washroom, you freshen up, you put on your uniform, and then you go to, catch the school bus, or you're dropped by your parent, you come back, you have a cup of milk, have a snack, and then study for a while, then watch TV, or, speak to your friends on mobile phone, and then go to bed, right? The regular stuff that we've been doing for last many years. Have you ever thought of bringing some creativity into your daily life? Every day, the same things, some creativity. Have you thought about it, Aisha, Zia? Doing things differently?
Of course, yes, definitely.
Have. How about you, Vidhi Jadhav?
Yes, sir.
Great. Great. It becomes boring at times. You continue doing the same thing for days and months and years, right? Like, for example, I have a garden here. At times I go out and brush my teeth, talking to my plants, talking to my birds, talking to the fishes that I have in the pond. At times I go to the backside of my home, where there is a store and a kitchen, and I see a couple of my neighbors walking with their dogs, spend time there. It's very important to be innovative and creative rather than continuing with what we have been doing for over the years. Like, that's exactly what our District 116 Gavel coordinator, Ranish, has introduced. Apart from having the speeches, the regular speeches, club meetings, roles, contests, now we have something new, an innovative idea to share, or rather to let the world know how creative you are. I'm sure you must have heard the story before. A blind boy was sitting on the steps of a building, had a hat by his feet. He held up a sign which said, "I am blind, please help." There were very few coins in the hand. And a man that walked by this boy took few coins from his pocket and dropped them to the hat. He then took that sign, turned it around, and wrote some other words. He put the sign back so that everyone who walked by could see the new words. Soon, the hat began to fill with coins and currencies. A lot more people were giving money to the blind boy. That afternoon, the man who had changed the sign came to see how things were. The boy recognized his footstep and asked, "Were you the one who changed my sign this morning? What did you write? It's magic." The man said, "I only wrote the truth. I said what you said, the same thing, but in a different way. I wrote, today is a beautiful day, but I cannot see it." Now, both signs said the same thing, that the boy was blind. But the first sign simply said what he is into. The second reminded people how fortunate they were to have their sight. Boys and girls, we have few lessons to learn from this story. Be thankful for what you have. Of course, the others who had the fortune of seeing the world. Be creative, be innovative, and think differently and positively. Now, this is the message that I'd like to give all of you, all the children who've gathered here, all the Gaveliers. Think different. Now, which brand has got this tagline, think different? Can someone say? Shout out.
Apple.
Apple. Okay, so think differently. Be innovative in whatever you do, and be positive at the same time. And I thoroughly appreciate the initiative by District Gavel's coordinator, Ranish, and all the other coordinators for bringing up such an innovative idea where our children could share their talents in the upcoming months. And I wish all the very best to the District Gavel's team and all the Gavel clubs and members who take part in this initiative. Now, once you're approached by the counselor to give your nominations, please don't step back. Come forward. Let the world see your skills. Let's enjoy your skills. Once again, congratulations and wishing all the very best. Back to you, Janvi. And please excuse me as I'm attending another meeting in parallel. So I'll be leaving now. Thank you so much. Though I wish to stay through.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Mansoor Moideen, for your message about the power of words and all the well wishes for this Share and Grow series. Now, no great event or meeting is done alone. There's always going to be a team of vibrant role players putting on the show. To keep track of time today, we have with us Gavelier Venus Rinith, who is a Gavelier from Zenith Gavel's club. She is a very cool human being and loves reading books and dancing. Without any further ado, let's hear the timing guidelines from Gavelier Venus.
Good evening, everyone. I'm the timer for today. And as the timer, I shall be keeping track of time for both the speakers and the Q&A session. So as far as I know, for the speakers, at 15 minutes, I will be making the background green. At 17 minutes, I shall be making it yellow. And at 19, I shall be making it red, and it will be on till 20 minutes. For the Q&A session, at 8 minutes, I shall be making it green. At 9, I shall be making it yellow. And at 10, I shall be making it red till it's done. So thank you for making me timer today.
Thank you, Gavelier Venus. The wait is over. We will now have our keynote speeches. If any of you have any questions during both of their keynote speeches, you have to send a personal text to Gavelier Mokshith. Following the keynote speeches, we will be having a Q&A session during which all your questions will be answered. So as and when you have a question in mind, please send a personal text to Gavelier Mokshith. With that said, let's start with the session. First, we'll have Gavelier Aisha Zia. She is an 11th grader in Ansar English School. She really likes listening to music, reading, and is passionate about mental health. Let's hear it for Gavelier Aisha for her module on giving back to the community.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Just give me a moment to set up my presentation. I hope I'm both visible and audible.
Yes.
All right. Dignitaries, Gaveliers, and guests, I hope you're having a wonderful evening today. All right. So when I say extracurriculars, what comes to your mind almost immediately? Anyone? Feel free to unmute yourself.
Cultural activities.
Okay.
Sports.
All right. So exactly, it may be sports, speech or debate clubs, playing a musical instrument, singing, dancing, art, or any other specific skill set, right? And most of us take on these extracurriculars in our earlier years of school, and it's almost always a hit or miss. Some fall in love with it and continue doing it throughout their lives, maybe even discovering a passion for it, and some don't. We get tired, it feels pressuring, and we eventually drop it. Now, I belong to the latter category. I took up classical dance, karate, the tabla, guitar, classical music, and guess what? I dropped them all. I did learn to appreciate the arts, but I never felt as passionate about it, and I think that's okay. But taking on some activities did help me discover other passions that I had. Going to Gavel's club, I realized that I admired and loved speaking confidently, and it's something I wanted to keep working on. Going to classical music lessons, I realized I really liked songwriting and music production, which inspired me to take up a few production courses over the summer. Now, if we look at the statistics, 35% of students enroll in sports before graduation, 40% are involved in music, dance, and art, 20% are involved in speech clubs and debate, and the other 5% are grouped under other activities. Now, I believe that I belong to that 5%. That 5% who looks at extracurriculars a bit differently. And today I want to share with you some of these out-of-the-box extracurriculars and the impact that these commitments have made on my life, and hopefully by the end of this, inspire you to take on some of your own. So my first out-of-the-box extracurricular was co-founding a mental health awareness organization. Now, I've always been really passionate about mental health, spreading awareness, and talking about the stigmas surrounding mental health. I mean, think about it. It's always a topic that is so frowned upon, even in the 21st century, which is just absurd to me. Have any of you ever tried or initiated a conversation with your family or your peers about your mental health? Feel free to raise your hands if you have. Right. Or raise your hands if you've had people check up on your mental health recently. This just proves my point. Very few. Why is it that we shy away and get so uncomfortable at the mention of mental health and awareness? Right? And this is especially important if we look at the numbers. 30% of children and young people aged 5 to 16 have a clinically diagnosable mental illness. Yet 70% of them, I want that number to really sink in, 70% of them have not had appropriate interventions or proper treatment at a sufficiently early age. Doesn't that sound crazy to you? I could go on and on with the statistics, but we're obviously doing something wrong here, aren't we? Now, I remember coming across an article about how teenage suicide rates had dramatically increased over the past few years, and I sent it over to one of my friends to talk about it because it bothered me. And we did. And we couldn't understand why the world had built this sort of stigma around the topic when mental health is just as important, if not more, than our physical health. The more we thought about it, the more we realized that there's so much insecurity and self-doubt present in our generation that prevent us from talking out. And we've definitely made progress, and it's very important to acknowledge that, but we still have a very long way to go. And over a very heated ranting session at 4 a.m. with my friend Rida, we realized that we wanted to do something about this. We wanted to take a step on educating the youth, or at least just our friends and classmates, about the seriousness of the issue, and hence began the brainstorming, which would eventually lead to the birth of We Change. Rida and I co-founded We Change in the summer of 2019, mainly to really bring light to this topic that obviously needed to be talked about, and we decided that we weren't going to sit around and wait for someone else to do it. So what was an organization with just the two of us, I can proudly say, has now become a little community, a little family of over 20 amazing people from 4 different countries in our co-leadership team. They serve as social media leads, outreach and marketing leads, writers, editors, and so much more. We've been able to collaborate with other high school organizations for awareness campaigns. We've had awareness meets and amazing speakers. We've made remarkable progress, and we have so much more in store that we can't wait to put out in the future. Till We Change, we're doing something really worth it and something that we're passionate about. And I think it's great being able to sleep knowing that we're at least trying to make a difference. I've learned so much from We Change. I've met amazing people. I've learned how beautiful teamwork can be when done right. I've learned to step up as a leader. I've learned that not all leadership roles are black and white, and there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. I've made countless mistakes along the way, and I've learned from them thanks to my amazing team. Now, for my next out of the box extracurricular, I want to take you back to the beginning of 2021. So, after the euphoria of passing 10th grade, I decided that sitting idle and lazing around, like I had initially planned to during my short lived summer, was completely off the table. I spent the whole time researching future career paths, brainstorming different initiatives I could take up, and looking for extracurriculars that I actually liked and cared about. As I was thinking to what I could possibly do, I thought back to how, ever since I was young, I've always loved to help out my brother with his studies. Maybe it was because I got to boss him around and occasionally scream at him without getting in too much trouble, but it soon grew into my love for teaching. Thinking back on those fond memories, I wondered if this could be my next out of the box extracurricular. So, over the summer of this year, I started tutoring. I went in with low expectations. After all, I was still a student. But surprisingly, I was able to teach 5 students. I designed curriculums, I graded worksheets, had monthly assessments, and emailed their parents with monthly analysis and progress reports. Even though it was definitely a lot of hours and work, I found that I really enjoyed what I was doing. I felt more rewarded and accomplished when I'd see a student make progress and answer questions without second guessing themselves. I was elated when I'd see a student make tremendous change and progress in their grades. However, summer soon came to an end, which meant my summer lessons came to an end as well. But I knew I still wanted to keep going. I knew I wanted to keep teaching, and I knew I wanted to keep helping out students on a much larger scale. And that's how I joined Instead. I joined in as a tutor and was then later promoted to academic batch manager. So today at Instead, I tutor students from rural villages in Bangalore, India, ranging from ages 10 to 25 in English grammar and communication. So I help them prepare for job interviews, college admission interviews, and so much more. I design curriculums, grade assessments, and conduct progress evaluations every month. Joining Instead has been one of the greatest decisions I've ever made. The joy of entering class to about 30 students, eagerly waiting to learn and receiving heartfelt messages thanking the team and for providing them with free education and resources is so heartwarming and totally makes all the hard work and hours put into it 100% worth it. I'll never forget how one of my students went from not being able to speak a single sentence at the beginning of class to now freely conversing about everything and anything in class and even becoming one of our best students. Seeing the amount of trust and faith the students themselves, their parents, and their teachers have in us has helped me tremendously in terms of improving my self-esteem and just feeling more content with myself. I've learned so much from working at Instead. I've met so many amazing, hardworking, and highly talented students and tutors who I'm sure will go places. I've gotten to listen to stories of hardship that our students go through. And through that, I've learned to value and really appreciate the quality of education and life that I'm able to access and how hard my parents work to make that possible. I've gained a very different positive insight into the work that goes into teaching every day, which has inspired me to be more grateful to my teachers and to focus more wholeheartedly on my school lectures. It has also opened my eyes as to how education being accessible to everyone is still an issue. And it's something that we as a society and the next generation could definitely put more work into. We've come a long way, but there's so much more to accomplish, and we have a longer way to go. And I really hope I can be part of making that difference. Now, if we talk about my next extracurricular, I need to tell you this. I greatly envy people who can speak and have the talent and ability to debate, like my very extremely talented friends here. And I do not believe I possess much of it. So my friends are naturally gifted, and they do this thing called MUN, or Model United Nations. Have any of you ever gone to one of those?
Yes.
Right. So Great. So basically, it's like a mock United Nations conference where students play the role of delegates from different countries and they attempt to solve real world issues. And after being convinced by a few of my friends, I signed up for my very first MUN in 2019. I was in awe of all the delegates that spoke so confidently, and it was so interesting to see all the different points of view. However, I didn't say a word. Not because I wasn't prepared. In fact, I pretty much gave up on sleep and rest for a week prior to the conference. I spent hours researching my topic and I came up with a few pretty good solutions, if I can say so myself. But I felt like my fellow partner delegates could do a way better job at convincing and explaining all the resolutions to the committee. Basically, do all the talking part. And although MUN just wasn't my cup of tea yet, I was very interested in the principle of it all. I found the SDGs, or Sustainable Development Goals, the resolution, and just all the work that went into making the conference possible really interesting. Fortunately, I was scouted and I joined MUN Impact. MUN Impact is a global organization that promotes MUNs and SDGs. And through this, I was able to help secure and manage partnerships with organizations and schools ranging from elementary schools to huge corporate firms for funding. I was able to set up MUN school clubs all across North America and a few in India. I was also given the opportunity to present at a few workshops, through which I met many inspiring people. Through MUN Impact, again, I was able to deepen my understanding of the SDGs, or Sustainable Development Goals, and I was able to see the difference that MUNs can actually make firsthand. We've seen great things happen to our awareness campaigns, from a bunch of juniors making No Plastic Monday a reality at their high school in Mumbai, to a group of French activists raising over $12,000 to provide for the homeless children with food, shelter, and COVID supplies. And it's really rewarding to know that we as a team made this possible. And it just further shows how spreading awareness and educating people around you can actually go a long way, and it really does make a difference. There's so much to teach and there's so much to learn from, no matter how young or old you are. So, social inequality is something I'm very passionate about, and I always hope to do more to fulfill my part. And I was very fortunate enough to become a deputy editor at Equal Access Qatar. Equal Access Qatar is the first youth-led disability rights organization in Qatar under Thyman and Qatar Foundation. We all know how powerful social media is and how much it contributes to how society perceives a lot of major issues, and the same goes for the disabled community. And our founder, Nawal Akram, always encourages us to use social media to bring light to the unfortunate circumstances that several people from the disability community face even today. Through Equal Access, I'm able to post on social media about different outlooks and approaches to solve the issue surrounding the mistreatment of the disability community. I'm able to make presentations and design awareness weeks and activities for schools around Qatar. Being the only Indian member on the team, I'm actively trying to get Indian schools in Qatar to become a part of this cause, and I really hope we get to achieve that soon. Disability is a global public health issue, a human rights issue, and a development priority. Equal access plays a crucial role in spreading awareness, encouraging people to become allies, and fighting for the rights of the disability community. Through Equal Access, again, I've met amazing people from our team. I've been able to improve my communication skills, and I'm just happy knowing that what I'm doing and what we're working for as a whole and a team is helping people out there. There's just something so rewarding knowing that no matter what you do, and no matter how small or insignificant it may seem, it helps other people out there. Now, I tell you all of this not to brag, but to hopefully inspire you to do something more and try to give back to the community in the process. Being part of these amazing causes has taught me values and so much more. Whenever we take up an extracurricular, what's the first question that we usually ask? Or at least I used to ask, how is this going to benefit my academic life in the future, or the work life in the future, or my college admissions? While these questions are definitely worth pondering on and are definitely important, I want you to also ask yourself, Am I content? Is this helping me improve myself and my community? And if your answer is yes, I think the rest just follows. Despite being high school students, there are still so many ways you can give back to your community, and you really don't have to wait until you're an adult. There's already so much you can do for yourself and for others. If you like and enjoy teaching, start tutoring people or join amazing organizations that give you the opportunities to. If you enjoy reading, join or start a reading club or start a book donation camp. Share your ideas with the world. It helps build amazing communities. If there's anything you're passionate about, speak out about it. Collaborate with like minded individuals and put your ideas out there. If you enjoy art, music, or dance, use it as a platform to express yourself. Don't be afraid to put it out there. And if you're a more academically inclined person, write a research paper and explore the world of academia. Research has introduced me to so many different fields and has helped me appreciate so many sciences I would otherwise just look over. For children like us, especially in this generation, when everything has become so competitive and the focus has primarily been on this pattern of manufacturing products rather than growing up as kids, we have to acknowledge the effects that this philosophy has had on the mental health of our generation. I just want to say no one is limited to the confines that we're presented with. Put yourself out there, find your community, and become someone that you're proud of so you can look back on a life or childhood of fulfillment, whatever that means to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Gavelier Aisha. That was absolutely amazing. That was super inspiring, and I could definitely learn a lot from just those 20 minutes that you spoke. I've always looked up to you, but this tops everything. Moving on, next we'll have Gavelier Haripriya Shabri Prasad. She hails from God's own country and is a 10th grader in Shantiniketan Indian School. She loves everything about nature and spends a good deal of her time raising animals, fishes, and plants. Apart from that, she loves classical dance. She aims to be different and help others. And though she's not there yet, she's getting there. So, ladies and gentlemen, a thunderous round of applause for Gavelier Haripriya, please. A chicken story.
Now imagine that you scored very high marks in your examination, and your parents asked you that, what do you want as a reward? What will be your answer? Anyone?
Food.
Okay. Any other?
A small friend's party or something.
Okay. When I was in 5th standard, the same question was turned to me. Could you guess what I asked my parents at that time? Anyone?
A giant teddy bear.
Okay. Any other?
Chicken.
Yeah, you're correct. I asked my dad that I want chicken as a reward. Not the chicken that we get from the meat stalls to eat, but the chicken that we get from the market to raise. Good evening, dear District Director, DTM Mansoor Mohidin sir, our District Gavel Councillor, TM Abarna ma'am, other Toastmasters, and Gavelier. Do you know from where I got the interest of raising hens? I got it from my grandmother and some part from my mom. When I come back from India, I always felt sad. The reason is I miss my family. I miss the trees where I used to climb. I miss my hens, which I used to chase around. And I miss the pond where I used to fish. And then when you come to Qatar, the thing is, it's not that lively as India. So I thought of bringing some liveliness in my home Qatar by beginning the mission of hatching chickens without a hen. And this adventure became way before when I was in kindergarten. When I was in KG2, there was a chubby boy sitting beside me, and he said to me that if you put an egg inside the pouch, you close it, the next day, the egg turns to a chicken. I believed him. The next day, I took the pouch that I had, the only pouch that I had at that time, and somehow managed to bring an egg from the refrigerator. And I took the egg, kept it slowly inside the pouch, closed it, and hid it very nicely in the storeroom. The reason for hiding, my parents should not know about it. The next day, I checked the pouch, but there were no sign of a chicken. The third day, the same thing. The fourth day, the same thing. At last, I lost my patience and I opened the pouch, took the egg, broke the egg, and there, instead of a chicken, I saw an egg. I saw an yellow yolk and white. Few years passed, and I did my second experiment when I was in 3rd standard. This time, I'm fully aware that I could not use an egg from market or from the fridge, and incubation process is not possible in a pouch. But I still remember that there are some hens in my hometown, and the eggs they lay are very good. So I promised myself the next time when I come back from India, I would surely bring 1 egg minimum for the experiment. And I did, as I promised. The vacation is at its end, and we all are packing our bags to go back to Qatar. Before packing my last luggage, I ran to the chicken coop, took the egg, covered it slowly with a cloth, fixed it inside a container, and placed it in the box. The first thing that I did when I reached Qatar was taking the egg out of the box. Later I understood, I still don't know how to incubate eggs. And there came my old friend YouTube for help. As YouTube said, I bought 10 cardboard box, bulb, water, and I began the experiment with 1 egg from India. The most important thing for an experiment is patience. To understand if the experiment is a success or a failure, I have to wait till 21st day of the incubation period. Because at that time, the egg is going to hatch. First day finished, 1 week passed, 2 weeks passed, 25th day also passed, and still now there is no sign of a chick coming from the egg. At the 26th day, I broke the egg, and there I saw a fully developed chick, but burnt. The reason is high temperature. I gave up. Then after a few years, I'm in 4th standard. And this idea came in my mind and the idea was raising hens. I said to my dad, and my dad said, no. And I somehow consoled him, and he said, if you get full A+ in examination, I'll buy for you. The reason for him to put forward the challenge is he knows that I'm very weak in English and Malayalam. So the probability of getting hens in my home is 0. But I didn't leave my hope. I worked very hard, wrote and read the same thing again and again, and finally my hard work paid. When my father received the report card, he was astonished because throughout the history, this is the first time he's seeing his daughter getting full A+, even in Malayalam and English. So without any excuses, my dad bought me 2 hens and 1 rooster as a reward. I thought Indian and Qatari hens are the same. Both of them lay eggs, but here's the difference. Indian hens, they sit on the egg for 21 days. They incubate the egg. After 21 days, you'll see a chick. But on the other side, the Qatari hens, most of the Qatari hens, they are not willing to incubate eggs. So the chances of getting chicks in my home is impossible. So I brought back the mission of hatching chicks again without a hen. This time, as usual, I took the help of my old friend YouTube and I began the experiment with 1 egg. The second egg, when you observe the experiment, you'll see instead of 1 egg, 2 eggs. Third day, 2 eggs became 3. As the days increases, the eggs also increased. If you check the chicken coop, there won't be any single egg. Everything will be missing. The reason is I'm taking all the eggs for the experiment. I nearly used 50 to 20 eggs and all of them were wasted and my experiment became total failure. And the main cause of this failure is at that time I was going to school and my parents don't know about this experiment. So I can't say my dad or mom to observe this incubator for 24 hours before 24 hours. And this is the main reason. Just few years passed and I'm in 9th standard. And this was the time when COVID hit and many people had to face bad situations. But for me, it was the good time. Since I'm sitting home without doing nothing, I know I'm in 9th standard, I have to study, but without doing nothing, I thought of focusing more in this experiment and make it as a success. This time, I did a deep research. Later, I found out that there is something missing in my incubator, and that is thermostat. Thermostat is a device that regulates temperature in an incubator. So if you set a certain temperature, will maintain that temperature inside your incubator. I said to my dad, "Dad, please can you buy this for me?" My dad said no. Even if he said yes, this thing is not at all available in Qatar. So you have to purchase online, through online. My dad advised me, instead of this thermostat, use this thermometer. For 1 second, I got very angry. Later, I calmed down and I thought, it could be a good idea to try, yeah? With all of my knowledge, I did a model of my model. And this is the incubator, okay? This is the incubator that I did. Okay, here's the incubator. Instead of a cardboard box, I used a thermocol box. This is the thermocol box, and you need a lid to cover the incubator. Here I'm using a fan. This is for air circulation, and of course you need a bulb. And this is how inside. you can keep some straws. I know it's visible. Okay, so you can put some straws of cotton inside. And this is what I did at that time. At that time. With a single thermometer, I began the experiment with 3 eggs. 3 eggs. And these all are happening during my summer vacation. You know, in Qatar, if you're going outside during summer, it's so hot. At the same time, inside, it's so cold inside the house because you're using AC. And AC is not good for incubation. So I had to off the AC for 21 days and sleep there because I'm going to work as a thermostat instead of, since I'm not having it. And through this research, I understood that the temperature that an egg should need ranges from 34 to 38 Celsius. So each hour, I have to check if the temperature is correct or not. If the temperature is high, I have to off the incubator. If it is low, I have to cover all the incubator, full incubator with clothes so that the heat will be trapped and the temperature would rise up. Days pass, and then again, I got another method, which was candling. Candling is a method in which you can use it to check the progress of the chick inside the egg. Every day, I tried this method and somehow I understood how a chick developed from one point till the day the chick hatches. There was a good progress till 80th day, but after that, when I checked the incubator, there I saw 2 eggs was dead. We know if the chick is alive, when you candle the egg, you will see the chick moving like this. If it's dead, it will stop like that. When I saw that, I just stopped everything and I offed the incubator and I went out. I continued the business, what I have to do, which is studying. My mom was watching everything, and my mom said to my dad, and my dad came, and he said to me, "Kingu, why you are stopping this experiment? Because you've been doing this since your childhood." I said to my dad, "Dad, I've been working from KG2, and still now I'm facing failure. So in the future also I will fail, it's sure." My dad said, no, you should continue it. And he started talking about Edison's story about 1,000 bulb and all about that thing. Somehow he consoled me and supported me to continue this incubation process, this experiment. Again, I checked all the eggs, then I understood that one egg had life. So I grabbed that hope. I grabbed that egg as hope for me. The next day, I started working very hard. And then finally, 21st day came, the day when the chick should hatch. Unfortunately, at that day, the bulb exploded. Exploded means if it explodes, that means the temperature is going to decrease, and it's not good for the incubator, for the egg, and this chick could die. So I ran out with that incubator outside in that sunny time, because I know that temperature is very good for this incubation. I stayed till my dad came, and my dad, with his help, I got the bulb and everything went back to normal. At correct 7 o'clock, my sister and my mom at their beds. Me, as usual, observing the incubation process. My dad is watching his phone. When it was 12 o'clock, I heard some sound and a break from the egg. On July 19th, 1 o'clock, the egg hatched. After a long 10 years failure, I finally succeeded. Now, I will be showing you now. After succeeding, then somehow I got this thermostat, and I will be showing you how to use it, how this is going to work. So this is the thermostat, okay? Okay, so here is the thermostat. This is the sensor. How I'm going to show you how this is working. I have set it from 35 to 38 Celsius. So let's check it. So I'm trying to increase the temperature. You can see it in the screen. Before that, I will be showing you videos, okay, at that time. Okay. So So this is the first breakthrough, okay? So you can see, and this is different chicks, okay? This is one, and they're slowly breaking. And this is another egg chick which has just come out, okay? And then after a few hours, it will be like this. And then after 1 week, it will be like this. So I used the same experiment with coil X, and this is what? This is called candling, okay? So you can see the movement. It's like swinging. And these are the coil X. I hope you understood everything about it. If you're having any questions, you can also ask me. Now, okay. Success is something that makes you feel good, but failure is something that influences you. You know, I failed I did so many attempts, I failed. And after 10 years, I somehow succeeded. If you have a will, then you will be having a way and you will reach there. So if you have any small ambition, if it is small or big, you share to your parents. I shared to my parents, and without their help, I won't be succeeding now. Share and do your best, and you will achieve it. Thank you.
Thank you, Gavelier Haripriya, for that wonderful session. I think that was like a science lesson, but more interesting than science already is. And it's so cool to me and inspiring, because who thinks of hatching an egg without a hen? That's just genius. And yeah, I think it's time for me to buy a few chickens and then
1 minute.
try this out on my own.
I would like to say that if you're having these type of ideas, you can use it for experiment, because I used it for my experiment as an experiment for school projects, and I got special prize when I was competing with my seniors. And my sister also used it twice, and she also got some prize. So if you're having this type of, you can use it for your experiment as an experiment.
Thank you, and congratulations to you and your sister. Okay, yeah, we will definitely do that. So yeah, time for me to buy a few chickens and test this out for myself on my own. Okay, as promised before, we will now be having our Q&A session by Gavelier Mokshith. Gavelier Mokshith Vismay Raipuri is a 6th grader from Birla Public School. His hobbies include reading books, solving puzzles, traveling, and sports, specifically football, swimming, and cricket. Some of his noteworthy achievements include 3rd prize in Asian School Fiesta News Reading Competition and the Best Student Award. All of you, put your hands together for Gavelier Mokshith. And if you haven't sent any questions, please send them as soon as you can. Thank you.
Actually, I haven't received any questions from the audience. There were no questions from the audience.
Okay, what does that indicate? Everybody is crystal clear about both the stories. No doubts?
No, ma'am.
Anyone? It's just not Gaveliers. Anybody can ask.
Okay, I got one question. It's from Janvi to Haripriya. How did you manage to steal so many eggs from the chicken?
Because I was the one who was collecting the eggs. So nobody sees how many eggs are being stealed. That's the reason.
Ma'am, that's the only question I got.
Okay.
Yeah, Ashkar, I got from Ashkar. How to maintain consistency to continue after several failures to Haripriya?
Consistency.
Yeah.
You should try bigger. But I one time stopped, but because of my parents, I continued it. So it's better to talk to your parents. Your parents, they are well-wishers. So if they understand that you failed, they would certainly help you. Okay.
For now, that's all the questions asked.
Okay, thank you, Mokshith. Janvi?
Ma'am, I got one more question. I don't know for who this question is. I think it's for Gavelier Aisha. It's from Gavelier Kaushik. How can we manage both extracurricular activities and academics, especially for students in higher grades? That's the first question.
Okay, sure. I would love to answer that. I'm in 11th grade, so I definitely understand where the concern comes from. In the beginning, I did have a hard time managing my time, so it resulted in a lot of unhealthy behaviors and schedules. But over time, I've learned to divide my time equally for everything. And my parents always say everyone gets 24 hours, and what matters is how you make use of it. So if you devote a set time for your studies, like say 4 or 5 hours per day, or even 6 to 7 hours per day, then you devote the rest of your time for what you want to do or your extracurriculars. And it's also, there's something I want to say is if you're actually really passionate about something and you know that you want to keep doing it, you will find time. Because, yeah, I hope that answers your question.
There's one more question from Gavelier Culture. It is again to Aisha. What other extracurricular activities can we participate or initiate?
All right, so other extracurriculars. Okay, so there will be a lot of clubs and organizations in your school, perhaps. If there's anything that you find interesting or you're passionate about, go ahead and sign up for that. If there's an idea that you think no one else has talked about, start your own. Like I said, put it out there. Try to find people that think like you and collaborate with them to make new projects that you're passionate about. If you're into sports, join teams or start coaching younger kids. I've seen a lot of my friends do that. If you're a more technology person, there are many organizations that help you tutor younger kids or learn from other kids that may be amazing at those fields. So yeah, there's so many opportunities out. The internet is the best resource. Just type in whatever you're interested in and you're bound to find so many organizations that take up very little time in your day and you'll be able to do it.
The another question is from Gavelier Raghav to Gavelier Aisha. What is your aim in future?
Okay, so my aim in future, I'm really passionate about mental health and I really want to do something in that field. But no matter what I do, I just hope that I can help people out there. Just what I'm doing, I just want it to benefit my community and the people around.
There's one more question from Ashkar to Gavelier Aisha. How to find about different types of developing extracurricular activities other than the usual ones?
Okay, so it depends on what you're interested in. Like I said, if you're into, there are so many resources on the internet. Trust me. If there's something that you like, if there's something that you're passionate about, just if you go on the internet, there are tons of organizations that will, provide you with resources and other organizations that you can join. And of course, a little bit of self-promotion here. If you're also passionate about mental health, you're welcome to join WeChange. We're actively looking for members and we have many different positions open. So you can definitely do that as well.
The next question is from Haripriya to Gavelier Aisha again. How can you join an organization as a teacher?
All right. So the organization that I work at, it's called Instilt. The website is instilt.edu.com. They just ask you to apply. There are like application forms and you have your interviews and if you pass the interviews, then you automatically become a tutor. And there are many other organizations like Instilt that provide you opportunities to teach and tutor young kids from different parts of the world.
There is this question is from Aparna ma'am to Aisha. What are the activities you do in WeChange?
In WeChange, we primarily focus on social media and just educating the youth via social media. So we talk about different topics from various spectrums, like it may be mental health disorders like autism, Alzheimer's, or schizophrenia, or things like that. And also just ways we can become allies to those suffering from mental health. So things that you shouldn't say, things that you should steer clear from. How can we be more understanding of the people that go through these mental illnesses? And we also collaborate with other high school organizations that focus on mental health or any other issues. So recently we had a collaboration with Cleverly Creatives, which is also an amazing organization. They promote creative writing among high schoolers and middle schoolers, and we're working on a newsletter that we plan to release by next year, mid-year, maybe June or July. And we're accepting written works and poems for that as well. So if anyone is interested, go ahead.
This question is from Gavelier Janvi to Aisha again. What were some of the challenges you faced?
I think my biggest challenge was managing my time and finding time to do all the things. Sometimes, some days I would get really frustrated when I wouldn't be able to get everything done or whatever I wanted to get done. But over time, I think I've learned that sometimes it's okay to take rest. It's okay to go slow. You don't have to get everything done. I think when there's so much to do, it's very easy to lose sight of the actual goal. So it becomes like a chore sometimes. And then you think back and you're like, why am I doing this? I'm doing this to help the kids, or in case of tutoring, when I would grade like a lot of assessments, I would feel tired. Then I would think, I'm doing this for the children, it's for them. And then it would automatically just give me the energy needed to continue. So, yeah.
This is from Gavelier Azam Shamir to Gavelier Aisha. How can we do extracurricular activities if we are young and cannot do organizations like teenagers do?
All right. So for all young, there's so many things you can do for young kids as well. If you're passionate about anything, talk about it. Tell other people. Encourage your friends in school, your classmates and friends in school to help you out with new projects or anything. And even as kids, there are so many organizations that you can join. For example, there's this organization called Be My Eyes, which takes literally 5 minutes from your day, probably. And it's such a beautiful cause behind it. So what you do is you help out people with visual impairments. So they would, sort of send pictures of like expiry dates or just anything, and you just explain that to them. You say, okay, this is so-and-so brand, this expires on so-and-so date, and it will convert it into audio for the people to understand. So these like really, really small organizations, really, really small commitments that take up maybe like 2 to 3 minutes of your week even can help you. Thank you.
Okay, this question is from Raghav to Gavelier Raghav to Gavelier Haripriya. How many chick will you develop in future?
I don't know about that. Sometime I may, but I'm trying to do experiment on different birds. This time I did quail, next time duck or turkey. It goes on, I don't know.
There is one more question from Azan, and this is for Gavelier Aisha. How can we do? No, that's the same question, sorry. That's all.
Yeah, time is also up. It's been read for some time. Thank you, Mokshith. Thank you for the wonderful question and answer session. Janvi?
Yeah, thank you, Gavelier Mokshith. I really liked all the questions and the answers given by our keynote speakers. And I think it was a really good learning experience for all of us. And all of us are definitely inspired to start something and exchange ideas like this in the future. With that said, now I'd like to acknowledge the presence of a lot of dignitaries that are among us in our meeting today. And I'd also like to request them to share a few words on this occasion. So first, I'd like to invite distinguished Toastmaster Sabari Prasad for his words.
Thank you. Thank you, Emcee. Gavel, Janvi. Here, to the district Gavel Councillor, Toastmaster Aparna Madam, Toastmaster or District IT Manager, Toastmaster Ninja, other Toastmasters and Gavel. It was a great pleasure for me to attend this event, and I heard two speeches. Great thing, and it is a great initiative from Toastmaster Aparna. So, and I really give a lot of applause to Toastmaster Aparna for this great initiative. I would like you all to make sure that on next event, it's on next month, last Sunday, the Grand Circle, and we expect more Gaveliers from all the clubs, Gaveler clubs, clubs from District 116. We got around 40, so at least 10 from each should come around 140. So let us plan accordingly. Let us put more strain from our side to focus all the Gaveliers and make sure this event come up, and which you all will be benefited in the near future. Let me wish you all the best. Over to Emcee, Gavel, Janvi.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Sabari Prasad. I also forgot to mention that he is the current Division of Director while introducing. Next, we'll hear from distinguished Toastmaster Anil Nair. He was the Division F. He is the past.
Janvi is not here right now. He's not here.
Sorry. Distinguished Toastmaster Danu is here.
Danu ma'am, are you here?
I'm just putting this off both because there was a lot of noise around, so I didn't want the noise to come in.
Oh, okay. Distinguished Toastmaster Danu is the Global Gavel Group Advisor. Can you please share with us a few words?
I've got too much to share. I don't know where to start. Honestly, I was really zapped by these young leaders. Both of them are so good. Haripriya with her never die attitude. Excellent. Keep it up. It will stand you in great stead as you go along in life. And Aisha, right? Aisha, you also excellent. I like the way you started your work and you started helping people, and you're so passionate about all these things at your age. It is amazing. I won't say amazing also, it's awesome. Just keep it up. And I'm inspired by you. So I can imagine all the other youngsters, they will really be inspired by you. Keep inspiring, keep growing, and keep leading. All the best to all you Gaveliers. And that little boy, what's his name? The one who's the moderator.
Mokshith.
Ma'am, it's me.
Mokshith. Oh, Mokshith, you're very cute. I like the way you handle the questions and answers. Very well done. Beautifully done. And Gaveliers, you really have a great life ahead of you. Just hang in there and keep at it. They will really do well. I've got lots more to say, but I think your time is going to be running out, and I can't say anything more now. I'll hand over to you, our MC, Janvi. Janvi, you're really good at your MC. Very well done. Just talk a little slower. Well done.
Thank you. I'll take note of that. Thank you, ma'am, for your words. Do we have distinguished Toastmaster Anita here?
Anita ma'am, she left.
Yeah. And Toastmaster Madhukara?
He's also not here.
And Toastmaster Shehrias?
No.
Okay, that's it.
I take this opportunity to thank Toastmaster Shahriaz for creating the wonderful flyer and Toastmaster Nijas, our IT manager, for spending these 2 precious hours with us and for creating the Zoom account for us and hosting this event for us. Thank you so much, sir. A few words from you, sir. Toastmaster Nijas.
Good evening, Toastmasters and my dear Gaveliers. When I got a call at 6:40 from Toastmaster Aparna Ranish, I feel very tired after my working hours. But you Gaveliers, you made my day. I feel very proud of you guys. And I'm sitting here in this seat, though I am very weak. You give me full of energy. Wow, very good. Both of your presentation was excellent. I don't have any words to say. And the initiative by Toastmaster Aparna, great. And we hear from the Gaveliers and I don't have any words. Actually, I'm not getting any words because of your lovely presentation. Thank you. Turning out back to you, Emcee.
Thank you, District IT Manager Nijas Noor, and thank you, Aparna ma'am. With that, I think I've asked all the dignitaries to share their words today. With that said, all's well that ends well. For the vote of thanks, we have Gavelier Anushka Anish. She is a 12-year-old studying in 7th grade Birla Public School. She describes herself as a bookworm who often has her head lost in the clouds. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Gavelier Anushka, please.
I hope I'm audible and visible.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Learn continually. There's always one more thing to learn, by Steve Jobs. Respected Toastmasters, dear guests, and fellow Gaveliers, a very warm good evening to one and all. We had a marvelous event today, didn't we? I have here with me a long list of amazing role players and Toastmasters who made today's part 1 of the Share and Grow series a success. I would like to thank Gavelier Rinith from St. Gavel's Club for the energetic beginning to the meeting and for taking up the role of a timer in such short notice, keeping us on track with precise timings. Thank you, Q&A moderator Gavelier Mokshith from Deepankar's Gavel Club for the informative Q&A session. I thank Gavelier Janvi Ranish from St. Gavel's Club for carrying the meeting fantastically throughout. Thank you, Gavelier Aisha Sia from St. Gavel's Club and Gavelier Haripriya S from Deepankar's Gavel's Club for the interesting and inspiring speeches, which were truly the heart of the event. I thank Division F Director DTM Sabari Prasad for the help with the event flyer. I express my sincere gratitude to the beloved Gavel counselors, Toastmasters Rinith and Toastmaster Dilip of Deepankar's Gavel Club, and District Gavel Coordinator Toastmaster Aparna Ranish of St. Gavel Club for organizing the event and guiding us all. I thank all the dignitaries, the District Director DTM Mansoor Moideen, DTM Danu Rajwani, DTM Anil N. Nair, DTM Aisha Shriju, who is the Gavel Counselor of ICC Eves, Toastmaster Madhukara, the Gavel Counselor of Alcor Gavel Club, District IT Manager Toastmaster Nijas Noor, and dear audience for joining and making this event a milestone. Thank you everyone present here for paving a way for us to make baby steps towards confidence, wisdom, and humanity through this wonderful concept of Share and Grow. Thank you for making part 1 of the Share and Grow series a memorable event. Awaiting us is a joyous and thrilling ride. Over to Toastmasters Venkata Dilip to close and adjourn the meeting.
Thank you, Gavelier Anushka, for that wonderful gratitude note. Toastmaster Dilip is not out here, so I'll just wind it up. So we are already ahead of time. We are supposed to wind it up by 8:15, but still, one or two words from me too. It was a really highly inspiring session. Gavelier Aisha and Gavelier Haripriya, I am really, really, really moved by your work, like both of you. Aisha, for the empathy you have towards others and helping out others. I've seen that. I've been seeing you from the age of 3, and the way, like, you're my daughter's classmate. I've been seeing you from that age. You have been different. You have been unique and peculiar. And I really loved all the initiatives. And to the audience, I would like to say that she has already submitted a research paper also on this mental health. Good job, Aisha. Keep doing it. We need more such Gaveliers. And Haripriya, I like the scientist in you, the experiments. And even after so many failures, you kept on doing it. And the way you presented it today, like I was just glued to you. It was really entertaining, the way you took the entire story. Well done, Haripriya. And thank you, Danu ma'am, for joining. Thank you, DTM Shabri Prasad, for all the support from behind. Without your support, this could have been not possible. Thank you, Toastmaster Ninjas, for supporting us. And thank you to all my role players, wonderful role players, my surgeon at arms, starting from my surgeon at arms, Venus Rinith, who took up the timer role. Thank you, Janvi. Thank you, Mokshith, for the wonderful question and session. He kept on texting me, ma'am, I didn't get any question. I didn't get any question. He was too worried that he didn't get any question. At last, see how many questions. You went ahead of the time also. So great session. Thank you for all those who have joined. I hope you would have all got inspired. And with this, sharing is caring, and we gain more power by sharing our knowledge and not by holding. With these words, I adjourn the meeting today.
Ma'am.
Yes.